Lembaga Tabung Angkatan Tentera has decided to drop its plan to take Boustead Holdings private after taking into consideration the challenging economic environment arising from the COVID-19 pandemic and the re-implementation of the MCO. In view of this development, Boustead said both parties agreed for its management to focus on its newly crafted Reinventing Boustead strategy to rejuvenate the group. This strategy, it explained in a statement, will involve value creation within the group's existing core businesses, creatively changing business models, rationalizing several non-strategic assets, as well as venturing into the digital services and technology sector. Boustead Group MD Datuk Sri Muhammad Shazali Ramli said the need to reinvent Boustead is needed more than ever. He said the group will start unveiling its new initiatives one by one over the next few weeks. LTAT first confirmed on May 28th last year that it was considering taking Boustead private at an indicative price of 80 cents per share, although it also stated that there was no certainty that it would proceed with the proposal. Based on the indicative price, the exercise would have cost the Armed Forces Fund about 660 million ringgit. Putrajaya has extended the MCO for a further 2 weeks until February 18th after 3 straight days of record-breaking new COVID-19 numbers last week. All states are currently under the MCO except for Sarawak, most of which is under the CMCO until February 14th. Senior Minister Security Cluster Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said, this means current restrictions will still be in place, such as the ban on interstate travel, which had resulted in 31 new COVID-19 clusters after the curb was lifted last December. There will also be stricter SOPs, which he said the National Security Council will announce in due time. Meanwhile, restrictions with regards to this year's Chinese New Year celebrations will be announced soon. New daily COVID-19 cases had spiked to over 5,000 from last Friday to Sunday, with 5,728 new infections reported on Saturday, the highest since the pandemic hit Malaysia in January last year. As for today, new patients stood at 3,455, taking the cumulative number of infections to 222,628. Today's recoveries total 3,661, which means there are 173,990 discharged patients and 48,638 active cases. A record 21 fatalities were reported, bringing the death toll to 791. SB Setia President and CEO Datuk Khor Chap will retire by the end of September under the developer's leadership transition and succession plan. In statements to Bursa Malaysia today, SB Setia announced Datuk Chong Kai Wai's appointment as President and CEO effective October 1st, 2021. He is currently the Executive Vice President of SB Setia, leading the Australian market. Meanwhile, Deputy President and COO Datuk Wong Tak Wai will also be retiring come this September. He will be succeeded by Datuk Khor Peng Kang. Khor has been with SB Setia since 1997 and has been directly involved in the development of the Eco Series. SB Setia said the succession plan is part of its leadership talent agenda aimed at sustaining its position as the country's leading property developer. According to the company, Khor, who was appointed acting CEO on January 1st, 2015, had subsequently taken on the CEO position on April 1st, 2016. SB Setia said his leadership has resulted in the company winning many awards, including the FIAPSI Prix Award. Khor was also instrumental in the successful completion of the integration process following the acquisition of INP Group by SB Setia in 2017. Bursa Malaysia's FY 2020 earnings surged by 103% to 377.75 million ringgit, the exchange's highest full-year earnings since its listing in 2005. This was after it booked a net profit of 104.85 million ringgit in the fourth quarter of FY 2020, up 130% from 45.56 million ringgit a year earlier. Quarterly revenue went up 78% to 230.7 million ringgit as trading revenue grew significantly for the securities and derivatives markets segment. That boosted its full-year revenue to 798.97 million ringgit, up 59% from 502.49 million previously. It declared a final dividend of 26 cents per share and a special dividend of 8 cents per share for FY 2020. This brings the total payout for this fiscal year to 51 cents per share, 145% higher than the 20.8 cents paid in respect of FY 2019. Going forward, Chairman Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar said, Bursa aims to build a sustainable momentum by driving the sustainability agenda with the implementation of a 3-year strategic framework. According to CEO Datuk Muhammad Omar Sept, the bourse operator will also focus on developing and growing the Islamic capital market and forge new partnerships to grow its non-traditional revenue stream. Boustead Holdings, the parent company of bubble tea brand Tea Life, is set to be looking at a strategic stake sale. This follows news last year that Loob's planned initial public offering has been delayed due to market conditions amid the COVID-19 pandemic. According to a source familiar with the matter, Nomura is advising Loob on the stake sale, and there are a number of interested suitors for the deal, including private equity funds. Another source said it is still early days and that the information on the stake sale has been shared with the interested suitors. When contacted by The Edge, Loob founder and CEO Brian Liu declined to comment on the matter. He said the only thing he can say is that the group is committed to continue growing its business during this challenging yet fruitful period, while ensuring the protection of its employees' welfare. According to CETOS, Loob, which also operates Kokogai and Define Food, has been seeing top-line growth, with revenue climbing from 68.06 million ringgit in FY 2017 to 86.15 million ringgit in FY 2018 and 180.4 million ringgit in FY 2019. Net profit was 2.36 million ringgit in FY 2017, fell to 1.96 million ringgit in FY 2018 and grew to 29.88 million ringgit in FY 2019. Its FY 2019 results are the latest that are publicly available.